is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different, usually we get into a different band, different artist, and we break down all of their records. Usually. But this week we're doing a little bit different. What are we doing this week, Jeff?
We're doing a soundtrack. Well, kind of theme. Like, yeah. But The Harder They Come soundtrack.
The Harder They Come
reggae
soundtrack.
The Raga soundtrack, man.
But in the end, we're really just going to talk about reggae music, ska, music from the late 50s up through, I'd say, early, mid-80s, I would say, roughly. Ska, reggae, maybe a little bit of calypso, some raga, dance hall, rocksteady.
Up through Madness's first record, because that's the only really two-tone record that I love a lot.
Yeah, two-tone. Yeah, so, I mean, that's really what we're going to be focusing on a lot, because the movie, The Harder They Come, the movie's fine, whatever, but it's the soundtrack. It's the soundtrack that's killer for that. But anyway, my name is Tyler. Way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. That's all I have for the boring intro. So I have some Red Stripe because it's only appropriate that we're doing reggae, that we're in the ska season, the skeezin right now, that we drink some Red Stripe. And I know you got some too. So there you go.
That is a good point, because I think...
What's a good point?
That Red Stripe was started as a Jamaican brand, but bought out by a UK company, much in the same way that like reggae happened.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Although at the time Jamaica was owned by the UK anyway, so like, what the fuck does that even mean? So
it means nothing. It means nothing. So yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know where to start with this.
Start with first impressions.
I don't know.
Start with origin stories.
Yeah. Origin story.
Do what you do.
Origin story with the movie The Harder They Come, and really just reggae in general. So what do you got origin story wise? Go.
My intro to reggae was Sublime. When Sublime was playing these songs, and I was like, damn, dude, like who did these random fucking songs like that include like reggae songs, and that's what got me into reggae. And like as a kid it was tough because like nobody else listened to reggae like in my area or like my friend group when I was young and listening to Sublime. But like I really did like it, so I couldn't like take a deep dive because I didn't really know them. And downloading reggae on Kazaa at the time was just like Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and a little bit of like Toots and stuff like that. But like that was really it. It wasn't until like high school when I was able to like expand and really like get a hold on the downloading of music and talking to other people. And like Virgin Records is what really sealed the deal. Jerry from Virgin Records, who I later saw at the Liverpool match and at the Coliseum when I went with Sohail. Nice. But he was the guy. That's
when you worked at Virgin Records.
I worked at Virgin before I got canned, giving away fat discounts to the boys.
Yep, the Jeff Hutton discount.
Any fucking CD you want, $5. A brand new, $25.99, $5.
You want a T-shirt? $5.
$5. Anything you want, baby, $5. Yeah, so it was kind of like a culmination of a lot of things. But Jerry, he really did show me like a lot of cool reggae and then kind of showed me what to look out for, and then explained to me the difference like reggae, rocksteady, like ska, and then everything else. So that was cool. But I didn't see The Harder They Come. The first time I saw it was in high school when I first got Netflix, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go through like AFI's top 100 movies of all time. And that's when I first saw it, and I was like, dude, this sucks. But the soundtrack's really cool, but the movie sucks. So I didn't see it again until much, much later. And I still don't watch it that often, only when I'm in a good reggae mood, because the movie's really dumb.
Yeah. And that was Netflix before it was the streaming site. It was just the DVDs.
They're mailing me shit.
Yeah, yeah. So you could really just get any movie you wanted, because they had like every fucking movie. You just fucking rent it, they mail it, and...
It sounds weird, but like the way like the human mind works, you better tell that fucking dog to stop it, or I'll come stop it for him. The way like the human mind works, it's easier to watch movies you haven't seen if you have to order them. Given like 1,000 movies on Netflix and you keep scrolling and scrolling, you end up like the vast majority of people end up watching something they've already seen because it's too overwhelming. Yeah. But if you order stuff like
30
that,
minutes. You spend like 30 minutes looking for something.
And then you're just too tired. Like, fuck, I wasted so much time doing this. I'm just going to watch fucking Total Recall. I'm going to watch whatever the fuck I've seen 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. So I kind of do miss like the mail-in rebate style of Netflix.
Yeah. Did that for years. And I remember Blockbuster picked up on that too.
That's when they did it right when I started working for Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And that was...
And what was cool with that was that you could
That was
just
good
take
times.
you could take the DVDs to a Blockbuster store, and then you could do that, and then immediately they're going to mail you something back. So it ended up being a better deal.
Blockbuster's deal
So
was
that was
killer because you could not only could you take the DVD back to Blockbuster, but once they scanned it in, you could either wait for your next one to get shipped, which would have just been the next day, or you're free to browse about the store. And if you see something in the store you want to rent, fucking free, and they'll hold your mail one until you bring the one that was in store back.
Yeah, it was a great deal. Only
That was
lasted
the
like
shit,
2
dude.
years because Blockbuster went out of business after like 2 years after that.
Yeah, I had a lot of jobs. I was counting my jobs the other day. I was like 15 jobs I've had.
Same here. I've had a decent amount of jobs.
You've had like 2.
I've had like maybe I've had like 8 jobs. I think 8 jobs over
not
the
bad.
years.
It's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's not bad.
Not
Not
bad
bad at all.
Entry level. It's fine.
Fucking guy.
I'm at the corporate level of 15. Okay.
And tell everybody why you left most of those jobs. Just say.
I wouldn't say like most of them. There's a good percentage of those jobs that I left. I've only been fired twice.
Okay.
Right? Fix Auto and then Virgin.
That's right. You were fired from Fix Auto. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. My boss cried. Phyllis cried. I was like, Phyllis, I know why I'm here. Like, I'm surprised it took this long. I get it. Like, it's okay. Don't
That
worry
was a
about it.
joke of a job. That's when you and I worked. That was the only time you and I ever worked together. Was
Yeah.
at Fix Auto. Yeah.
That's the only time we ever worked together. That's the only time we ever had, like, we never had a class in high school together except for drama.
Drama
Yeah.
was the only class. Yeah.
And then we never lived together.
That's true. Yeah. Never ever lived together. Yeah.
We lived in the same house, but at different times.
That's true. Yeah. I still live in this house that you lived in
Crazy.
15 years ago. Yeah. Almost 15 years ago. Shit.
Crazy. But yeah, I like the shiest jobs that I work at. I guess like take advantage of privileges given to me,
I like it.
which I guess is why it's probably better I own a business rather than work for somebody.
Yeah. You're not going to be doing that shit with your own business.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's my intro to reggae is Sublime.
Okay. My intro, I mean, I remember listening to Bob Marley a lot when I was a kid because my parents had the Legend compilation on CD. So they listened to that a lot, at the house or in the car or something like that. So that was really my first impression, but I never really got into reggae until probably middle school when I found Sublime and like 7th grade. Sublime, then that introduced me to more stuff. But it wasn't until you got me into a lot of reggae until after high school. It was after high school when you got me into like Toots and the Maytals, more Peter Tosh stuff. Yeah, and then just a lot of dub stuff I got into because of like the Mars Volta, or like we were talking about the Comatorium, remember on the last episode?
Yeah.
And like on the Comatorium, there's a whole section of just like bands you recommend. And there was a lot of dub in there because of De Facto. So there are a lot of dub stuff in there. So I found a lot of stuff through that. So that's really just my origin story and my whole progression into reggae and stuff like that. But some of it, I mean, over the years, I've certainly liked Bob Marley a lot less than I used to. Not that I ever really liked him a lot, but I think he's just good. Just good. I think they're just better artists, just better artists than Bob Marley. And whatever, that's sacrilegious, I don't care. I just don't enjoy his music as much as others do. So I think Toots and the Maytals are leaps and bounds better than Bob Marley's music. Like significantly better than Bob Marley's music. Even Peter Tosh, a lot of Peter Tosh's stuff is better than a lot of Bob Marley stuff.
Yeah. He's just a guy he's billed as like the front runner of reggae, put as the poster child of reggae in like the US especially, and like Bob Marley sold records, right? Peter Tosh played reggae and Bob Marley sold records. And it's fine. Bob Marley's still fucking good though. I still like Bob Marley.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I'm not
like
dissing
that Legend
him. It's
record
just,
is like
that compilation is
through
perfect.
and through fucking amazing. Banger after banger.
I used to have like a bunch of Bob Marley records too, and I purchased the last of them like a couple months ago, and I just have Legend. That's all I need. I don't need 5 of his records. I mean, they're all good, but you really know what you're getting, and Legend is just a perfect compilation. So that's the only thing I have of his on vinyl now.
Good.
So,
That's fine. That's okay.
What do you have? What do you have left? You have Exodus.
I have Exodus. I have an OG Jamaican press of Exodus.
Oh,
Not a
that's
big
so
deal.
sick. That's so.
And
sick.
then I don't have Legend just because we get it fairly often, and I always just like, yeah, I'll buy it one day. I'll pick it up one day.
And I got mine from your store too, by the way.
Oh,
Desert Grooves Records.
Look at
Huge
that.
shout out.
Each.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would only need Exodus because I do think Exodus is a fucking banger of a record.
It's great.
And then I would just get Legend. I'm good. I'm good with Bob Marley from there.
Yeah, I listened to Exodus today, and then after listening to so much reggae and ska and stuff over the last week, I got to Exodus, and it's still great, but God, a lot of the shit I listened to this week, which we can get into because you gave me a list of 10 albums to listen to, and I listened to them all. I made little notes for them, but there's some
Good.
really good shit there. Like it was what was the one? It was obviously the Toots and the Maytals was my favorite, but the Don Drummond, the greatest hits.
Dude, he's like one of my
Dude,
favorites.
that was so fucking good. He's a
Good.
trombonist, and yeah, dude, part of the Scotalites, right?
Yeah,
Is that
Scotalites.
who it was? Yeah, man, dude, that was some good shit. I really like the Don Drummond stuff. Really did that.
He has because he died really really young, tragically and weirdly. But he has some records out there. I have his memorial album, which is a bunch of songs. I think you bought it for me actually when at like fucking what's that place? White Rabbit.
Oh, okay.
It was like a purple cover and whatever. But I think you bought it for me out there. But yeah, he's like one of my favorites. He was trained as a jazz tromboner player, and so he grew up in like the big band era, and then transitioned over to like ska and then reggae. So whenever you hear him play, there's a lot of jazz big band influence in it, but it's not over the top to where it's like, fuck man, this sounds like goofy ass like Main Street Disneyland shit. Like no, it's fucking cool big band jazz reggae, and I love Don Drummond.
Yeah, it's really good. And he died in 1969. And I read like how he died in like his life. Well, he died in jail or like an insane asylum, because he murdered his girlfriend when she was like supposedly, yeah, she was like a popular singer in Jamaica, but she was from like Cuba or something like that. And but yeah, he had supposedly stabbed her and shit, and she died. And they tried him and threw him in prison, but then they realized he was insane, so they threw him in an asylum, and that's where he died. And people have speculated. Nobody knows how he died. Some people say he was assassinated. Some people say that he wasn't taking his medications, blah blah blah. But yeah, so nobody really knows how he died exactly.
But the most obvious explanation is that he wasn't taking his medications and he died from like malnourishment and fucking just died, right? But like, there's also the camp of people that think it was a retaliation for killing this up and coming singer. So it's interesting. But yeah, the guy's fucking good. I love Don Drummond.
Yeah, that was very, very good.
Good.
Really, really
good.
That was one of my favorite things. Yeah, that and the Toots and the Maytals, those are my two favorite things I listened to this week.
That's good.
So.
I don't know what else I was talking. Oh, the Funky Kingston. Yeah. So like, that's not the
Toots
original.
And the Maytals. Yeah.
Toots and the Maytals, Funky Kingston. That's not the original version of that. That's the after the Harder They Come blew up in America, they re-released Funky Kingston with like an all new track listing. They only kept like 2 or 3 of the same tracks from the original one, so that's not even like the original version of it that they wanted to put out to the world. So Spotify only has that version. Still good.
I really liked it. Yeah, no, I thought it was fantastic. I put it on my want list. Put it on my want list for a repress, because I want to definitely get a repress of it until I can get a Jamaican OG, but those are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So, but I do have the Jamaican OG on my want list on Discogs, so hopefully I'll get lucky. But
good.
We'll see. Good. But I didn't know this about Toots and the Maytals, but yeah, they coined the term reggae. It was in one of their song "Do the Reggae,"
with a Y,
but it's spelled differently. Yeah, with a Y at the end instead of an E. From
1968.
From 1968. So they're the ones who coined it. And honestly, they did reggae probably the best. Like, I think objectively, they did reggae the best. They really, really did. This album's fucking great. It's so good.
So before they even like were Toots and the Maytals, right? And they're just the Maytals. They did like ska the best, like Scotalites and early Wailers. Like they all did ska. But when Toots did it with the Maytals before they were Toots and the Maytals, like it was fucking gold. And there's a song on the soundtrack that we'll talk about that's like just fucking perfect, just vocal driven ska. It's unreal. That's Sweet and Dandy. Fucking perfect song. So yeah, I think
the
Toots
soundtrack's killer.
is I think Toots is like as important to like reggae as Bob Marley.
I think so too, and I think I don't think enough people talk about them. I think they're more. I think they're just a better. They're just it's better music, better songs, better band, for the most part. I mean, you can't really fuck with like Bob Marley's big songs, but overall, Toots. I love saying it too.
Toots.
But yeah, no,
Toots Hibbert.
their music is fantastic, and he died like just a couple of years ago too. So the band decided to go on without him, and now they're being sued by his estate. All that shit. It's like, come on,
What were you thinking though?
like it's so stupid, so dumb.
That's why they
But,
changed your name to Toots and the Maytals, because he's the band.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Good,
Well, I forgot
okay.
his first name though, but yeah, anyway, it doesn't
I think
matter.
it's something Hibbert, like Roy Hibbert or something like that. I think Roy Hibbert's a basketball player.
I don't know. And one thing I want to I will say about going through all the different genres. I started with calypso and mento, up through raga, and a lot of the stuff in the mid to late '80s. And honestly, I mean, it honestly gets progressively worse. Outside of dub, which is still like mid '70s when that kind of started, it just gets worse and worse. And the reason for that, I think, is because when they started out, obviously mento and calypso is just its own crazy, like very specific thing. But then once you get into the ska and rock steady stuff, they're, like you mentioned, they're all jazz guys, mostly jazz guys, big band guys, and so they're really good at their instruments. And then they're creating a new style of music. And then you get reggae in 68, 69, and you get the stuff all throughout the 70s and 80s. And that's just a derivative of what they were hearing in the ska and the rock steady stuff. So these guys are good musicians, yes, but they're not jazz guys in the sense that they came from jazz. They came from the reggae scene, or they came from the scene that was already established. So they're a derivative of another style of music. And I think that, to me, that's why I don't think it sounds as good. It's more pop driven, more rhythm and blues driven.
There it is.
That's what I think it is, right? I mean, would you agree with me on that? And it's less of the jazz.
I agree that it gets progressively worse. I think it gets progressively worse because of money, because these guys grew up like poor and they're just making songs so they could dance to them, and they're remixing a song a week later so they have a new song to dance to the next Friday night. And then Chris Blackwell comes here and throws this big old fucking big dick money down from Island Records and says, "Hey, I'll make you fucking worldwide famous." But you got to make it more accessible, right? And so, like, these really, like, ska songs, like Toots and stuff, like, yeah, that's cool and stuff, whatever, but, like, we're not going to like that in the U.S. We're coming off of, like, R&B and rock and roll music, and you're throwing me into, like, the 70s, and you want me to listen to the Jamaican stuff? Like, no, dude. You have to make it, like, really, really, really catchy. And, like, that's why Bob Marley was so successful, is because those are pop songs done in, like, a reggae tune rather than, like, reggae songs. Because, like, come on, dude, that shit never would have gotten over.
No, it wouldn't.
In the U.S. Like, where we were at, like, musically, like post-Woodstock, like, no fucking way, dude.
Yeah,
no way.
wouldn't have.
That's just not what our climate was. And so I think, like, the reason, and, like, even Jimmy Cliff, like, I think the soundtrack is fucking perfect. I think it's unreal. I think what Jimmy Cliff did here is fucking phenomenal. But his later stuff, it's bad. It's like, it's almost like worship kind of fucking garbage reggae music. It's fucking bad. It is not good. And I can't stand Jimmy Cliff later on into the 80s. And like most stuff in like the 80s reggae wise is just kind of like stupid. And I'm going to get started on fucking two-tone. It's going to be mad. Yeah, I think
we still have to touch upon two-tone.
We will touch upon it. We can do it now. We can do it later.
We'll continue your
I think like the whole like reason for this stuff to start in Jamaica and Kingston is because these people just want to party, right? Life sucks post World War II. Everybody's fucking poor. The entire like country of Jamaica, the island of Jamaica, has just been starved from resources because like it's an entire war zone in the Caribbean from World War II. So they're just like trying to get back on their feet. There's no jobs available. So there's a mass migration of Jamaicans to the UK. And so, like, everybody's fucking poor in Jamaica. So all they can do is just get fucked up, smoke pot, drink, and dance on the weekends. So their entire, like, life just revolves around cutting records. And Jamaica cut so many fucking records. They cut so much vinyl. Like they didn't have enough like vinyl to go around to cut vinyl, so they're like mixing like leaves and shit in their vinyl to make dirty ass vinyl. And we have some in the store. Like if you come out next time, we do. Like we have
fuck, I wanna
shitty.
see that shit.
We have like shitty vinyl where it's like you can tell like, dude, this is so impure. This vinyl is gonna sound like absolute trash.
Is it like super thin and flimsy, or what?
Sometimes it's dirty. Sometimes it's warped in a way like how the fuck is that even? Like the paper is all discolored and like somebody like drew on it and it looks ghetto, dude. It looks fucking bootleg. It looks like shit. But like that was their culture, and like that's why this movie blew up and like people love it because it showcased their exact culture. So once you started like getting away from it's kind of a weird thing to say too, like, oh, reggae sucks because they're not poor Jamaicans who are making cool music anymore. That's kind of like a fucked up thing, but like that's what it was. Mm-hmm. Like the more like notoriety like reggae got, the more money it's gonna bring into Jamaica. Like tourism's gonna go up. Like people are going to tour there. They're going to put shows on there. People are going to go to those shows. It's just going to bring more money to Jamaica, which is better for the Jamaican citizens. But in doing so, like there's just a little bit of like you're kind of selling out little by little by little. And like Chris Blackwell is like the fucking Jamaican dude, right? Not Jamaican dude, but like reggae dude. He's the guy when it comes to like reggae music for the world. But what the fuck does he know, dude? Like, come on.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah, and going back to the movie, the harder they come. I mean, this is the first time I saw it was this week. I ended up falling asleep the first time I watched it, so I rewatched it. And but damn, dude, I didn't realize that you have to watch this with subtitles. And you have to fucking pay attention because they talk fast, so you got to be able to read really fast. But and I saw I think it was not just on Wikipedia. It said it was the first English movie for subtitles shown in the U.S. Because technically, yes, it's English, but it's the accent is so strong, and the accent's called like Tapoy or something like that.
Jamaican patois.
Patois, that's what it is. Yeah.
It's a Creole, like English-based thing that they do over there.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's tough to understand what the fuck they're saying. Yeah, I tried for like the first 5 minutes. I tried to like keep up, but I was so lost, so I had to throw the subtitles.
It's funny because if you go to like New Orleans and you talk to like the New Orleans people, like they also have that similar kind of like Creole language where like this is America, right? Like I have no idea what the fuck you just said, bro. Like that dialect, that I don't know if that's even the right word, but that accent is so wild because their vernacular is different. Yeah, like everything they do is fucking different. Like how they say things is just. What is that?
Yeah, it's weird. Well, it's not weird, but it's just.
I think all accents are fucking weird except for California. Absolutely,
yeah. Except the Poway accent. Yeah,
the Poway. Yeah,
the Poway accent is supreme, and then everything else is below.
Yeah, that's good. That's patient zero for accents.
But yeah, no. And what was very striking about the movie was how authentic it felt. I mean, obviously, I wasn't in Kingston, Jamaica. I've never been there, and I certainly wasn't there in the 70s. But yeah, it just seemed very real, and it seemed like they really just they did film it on the streets with real people, and that's honestly what they did. The budget was very small for the movie, and it actually took them about a year to make it because they didn't have enough money to fund it, and yeah, but I thought it was a really cool and honestly unique view into a world that you don't normally see, like this raw, this unedited, I guess you could say. I don't want to say raw because that term is overused, but raw is probably like the best way to describe it.
It's fucking raw, dude. Like that whole area, everything they showed in there, and obviously there's probably nice parts of Jamaica. I don't know, I've never been there, but like
that's why people vacation there because it's really fucking nice.
It's a dump, but like there's obviously tourist areas because people do vacation in Jamaica.
Yeah, that's my point. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But like, just like look at their teeth, like except for Jimmy Cliff. Like, did you notice everybody's fucking teeth?
I didn't know.
They're not good. They're
really?
not.
I didn't
good.
even notice that. No,
like not even like people in the UK probably have like really nice teeth compared to like the Jamaicans. Like it was not good except for Jimmy Cliff, obviously, who had like perfect veneers and like white ass teeth.
Yeah,
but everyone else was like,
teeth,
fucking hell, bro. Like none of y'all have good teeth.
I didn't even notice it. No. Did
Yeah,
not.
so like the movie is cool because it's very B movie,
But in a
but
good
it's-
way. Like it doesn't come off as like a set. You know, like B movies that come off as like it's very a set or like bad extras, a bad. Just it just looks fake. But this
Yeah.
didn't look fake. It looked all fucking natural. Like they got real people to be in the background. Like they weren't extras. They were just people walking down the street or
Yeah.
walking through the neighborhood.
There's a lot of, actually there was one part where Jimmy Cliff is shooting at his friend towards the end of the movie. His friend's running through like the canal, like the riverbed canal, and he's like shooting at him. He's like, "Yeah, don't fucking come back to this place." And this is at the point where now he's like this folk hero, and all the kids are running behind him like throwing cans at this guy. And I was like they probably told like a handful of these kids to like throw a couple things at this guy. And then all of a sudden you see like all along the riverbed, just like hundreds of people coming out of their houses and shit, out of the woodwork, throwing cans at this guy running. And then you see the actor who played, I think it was Jose or Pedro or something. What the fuck his name was? It was some Mexican name that I was like, what the hell? I don't know. I don't know. Jamaicans have Mexican names too. Although I don't know. Like Pedro, Jose's a Mexican name. But like you can see him speed up. You can see him run faster to the point where he's kind of just like jogging, running, right? To the point where he's like fucking running for his life. I was like, oh, damn. Like they probably told this small group of people to do this thing, and everybody did it on their own.
Yeah,
Like that was going back to your point where like this town is just doing whatever the fuck they want because hey, someone's filming a movie, fuck it.
I know. But then it really also shows like how impoverished that city is or was at the time. I'm sure it's still not, sure it's still pretty run down. But yeah, but back then it was gnarly. Oh shit, it was a gnarly looking city in the movie.
I mean that's
and
yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not a historian. I'm no Pat Connolly over here, but from like what I've gathered, what I know, what I think, like after World War II, like Jamaica was just completely fucked. They were just ravished, right? Just because there's no supply chains coming in or out.
yeah.
It's like no one's dropping off food because like German U-boats are fucking circling the Caribbean trying to take over Jamaica so they can spy on the U.S. And then like vice versa. The UK owned Jamaica at that point, so they have troops over there. And that's how reggae even started, was because American troops left all their fucking radios and Jamaicans picked it up and listened to Fats Domino and shit. But then after that, like, there was no jobs. There's nothing to do in Jamaica. Fucking land is just slaughtered. It's lost. But then the UK needed jobs. It's like the mass like exodus of people from Jamaica going to the UK, and that's how they get like two-tone and stuff like that. But yeah, you can see it in the movie too when he goes to ask his lady if he can mow her lawn. What does he say? Mow your lawn, wash your car for like 10 cents. And she's like, nah, we got somebody. He's like, what about like cut your grass? She's like, nah, we got somebody. Like, how the fuck did you even get in here? He's like, oh, the gate was open. She's like, now get the fuck out of here. Then like, she gets up and yells at like somebody. She's like, who left the gate open? But like she was black and he was black. And it's like, damn, dude. Like, and she was on this massive like
it wasn't
house.
even like a racial thing. It was just lower poverty.
Just a clear caste system.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that was. I mean, there were parts of it that were really cool, and you got to see, like I said, things that you wouldn't normally see in movies and all that. But overall, I mean, the story is very low budget. I mean, the rough thing, the rough story of the movie is this guy lives in like a rural part of Jamaica, comes back to Kingston, and then his grandma or something like that tells him, no, you should actually get out of the city. It's not a good place to be. And then you see all the music culture happening and people cutting records. And the main character, Jimmy Cliff, Ivan, wants to be a musician. So he tries to go and cut a record. He's like, I got songs, whatever. And he's like, I'll pay you $20. He's like, nah, I want more than that. He's like, well, fuck you then. Get the fuck out of here. And then he realizes, oh shit, maybe I should just take the bad deal. And then all that shit goes down. And then eventually he gets screwed over, and then he becomes, like you said, like a folk hero. He ends up killing a cop, and then it just snowballs, like quickly fucking snowballs. He ends up killing like a bunch of cops, and he's like on the run and shit. The pacing of the movie is wild. I mean, you go from just like
it's like riding a horse and you're trotting, all of a sudden you're
you're
gone.
you're gone. Like it goes from cutting from like just him like cruising the city and talking and hanging out with people, and you get the little romantic part of the movie with Elsa, and then cutting some records, and then all of a sudden he shoots the guy. The first cop, I think he shoots the cop
on the
first,
motorcycle.
right?
Yeah, he's on the motorcycle.
Shoots the cop, and then all of a sudden it becomes like an action movie almost. It's just there's no like good transition or build up. Just like it's like two separate movies. Honestly, it's two separate movies.
It's wild, and it's cool because I don't know about the whole like payola thing where like the one guy owned all of the radio stations. Because like from what I gather, like the Jamaican or the reggae way in like the early '60s was just like dance halls. Like you're going to a party and I want to dance to the song, and then that's why they cut so many versions of the same song. And there was no rules to these people either. There was no fucking copyright thing. So
yeah,
you're having these guys essentially let's remix like American songs or like British songs, and they're paying no royalties on them. They don't give a fuck. And they exist on vinyl, and that's why some of them are outlawed on Discogs because they're like unofficials because they're not through a label. But then so reading more about this other guy, Leslie Kong, like the Chinese Jamaican guy who lived there, and he's like a cool dude. Like him and Jimmy Cliff were super good friends in the beginning, and like he stayed kind of with Jimmy Cliff throughout his whole career until he died. It was the early '70s, so not that long of a career. But he seemed like really cool, and so like that part of the movie. Because it is loosely based on like the life of Jamaicans and like the life of that Ivanhoe folk hero guy.
Yeah, who was a real guy, but back in like the 30s and 40s. It's based off of a real guy. That the story is loosely based on what he did back in the 30s or 40s, and I don't remember that guy's name.
They called him Ivanhoe
or something. Did they?
Like his nickname was like Ivanhoe. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why like in the movie his name is Ivan. But yeah, Leslie Kong it seems like the complete opposite of the PLO thing that we saw from the dude in the movie. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't think that guy. I don't know. Maybe he did exist there. I couldn't read anything on that.
But it was an interesting insight on the music business of the time. For however true it is, which I'm sure was true. Yeah, the payola aspect of it. It's just like this one guy controlled all of the clubs. He controlled all of the radio. Like he was the one who set what people are going to listen to on the weekends or what they're going to dance to. Like he was the only guy in Kingston that did it
in the movie.
So you had in the movie. So you had to play by his rules. Like if he wanted to pay you $20, then that's all you're getting. And even then, it's not guaranteed he's going to push the record, and you're going to get played in the clubs and stuff. So, and I'm sure it was like that. It was similar, in real life.
Well, it existed in the U.S. until it probably still exists.
It still exists, yeah. I mean, in all honesty, come on, it still exists.
Yeah, absolutely.
But especially, I mean, even with streaming sites now, you're seeing all kinds of shit with all these curated playlists and everything. It's like
Sleep Token, dude.
So yeah, Sleep Token's a great example of that. But who's putting all these artists on these Spotify playlists, these curated by Spotify playlists? Well, probably the people who are paying Spotify to put their artists on there.
That's funny you say that too, because like because remember you said what should I listen to? I was like, just Google on Spotify or just Spotify like best of ska or whatever, and then so I did that, and like the first one that popped up was some random Spotify playlist. I was looking through, I was like, what the fuck? This is not like this does not represent like the early years of ska, and then it had like let's see, that's 10 downloads and like 5 saves. So the next one I did, I went down the line, clicked on another one, a user made one. I was like, oh, dude, this is way fucking better. This is like very representative of like the early days of ska. It has all like the hallmark bands or artists that I want to hear. And that one had like 1 save and like no listens. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. So I do think Spotify does that too.
Yeah. Wouldn't fucking surprise me.
Even though we're going to upload this to Spotify and they're going to cancel
right?
us, so.
Whatever, I don't care.
Now we know why.
It's not like we have like a shit ton of people who listen. You know what I mean? And we're a very small podcast. So who gives a fuck in the end?
2 dudes shitting around, dude.
Just 2 dudes shitting around. We just have a good time doing that.
Have a good time.
We're not in for this for the money. We're just doing our thing, man. I don't care.
Our thing.
I love when people like every once in a while somebody on YouTube will call us out, and say, "Who the fuck are you guys? You guys only get X amount of listens." Like, okay. So like
the fact that we got that, like if and when people say that, the fact that we got that one listen, that's why I do it.
I know, it's just like we never expect to ever make money on this, which we don't really ever make money on this. It's like, who cares? We're just doing this for fun. That's why we've been doing it for 8 years, because we just do it for fun. It's not our job. It's not a business. It's just we're just 2 dudes shitting around for the last 8 years.
Because like that guy probably listened for like 2-3 hours and then was mad for like 2 or 3 hours.
I know.
So we were in that dude's head for like 6 hours. That's good. I like that.
He probably like thinks about it too. Like
He probably does.
everyone-
I fucking
like
hate that
like once a
podcast.
week. Probably thinks about
People
those
like-
fucking assholes.
People probably ask him, "Hey, do you have any good podcasts?" No, but I know a shitty one. That makes me happy.
Yeah, exactly.
That tickles me. Good for him and good for you.
All right, so yeah, back to the movie soundtrack. What I liked about the movie, I thought it was really cool, was when it was showing them cutting the record, cutting the songs, and it felt like it felt also real. Like they're just like fucking sweating,
Yeah,
and everybody looks like the guys like playing the instruments on the floor, like the guitars and bass. They just look exhausted.
yeah.
And then like Jimmy Cliff is up there, like I said, sweating and just singing his heart out. Like it looks so like it's so emotional and so passionate. And there's so many close-ups, like long close-ups of
Long
his face.
close-ups.
But I think it added to the whole song, the whole experience of it. So I thought it was
did
really
make you
cool.
feel like you were in the studio with them doing it at
Yeah.
the same time. I think the guy, so like not the main record producer guy, but when they were in the studio with Jimmy Cliff, the other guy that was in there with the white shirt, that was to the left of the main guy who has dialogue. The guy to the left was Leslie Kong. He had like an uncredited cameo in the movie. But again, like I didn't find anything online that made it seem like this entire system was rigged and run by one dude. In fact, it was like the opposite. Like a lot of people were really willing to help other Jamaicans get their name out there and cut records and try and get big. And Leslie Kong was the one. I keep saying Leslie Kong because he was just so cool.
Yeah, he was Chinese Jamaican.
Chinese Jamaican.
Chinese Jamaican.
And died super young because I guess Bunny Wailer told him that if you release that record, you're going to get cursed. And then died like a year later.
I mean, and dude, that's another thing with musicians and really just Jamaica and Kingston in general, man. The amount of assassinations, political assassinations, or attempted assassinations is unfucking real. I mean, you look at Bob Marley. I mean, there were so many attempted, assassinations on him. Peter Tosh.
That's why he made Exodus, because somebody shot him in the fucking chest and missed, and he's like, "I'm out."
And his wife got shot. His wife got shot too. I think that was the incident where his wife got shot too. And then they fled to England, and he cut Exodus in London. Yeah, which I mean, but it's just like everybody you read, there's always some shit going on where somebody tries to kill the other person because of some political bullshit. Because people act like politics are the end all be all. It's just like, dude, man, people just are fucking insane when it comes to politics.
If we're gonna put our historian cap on, I think. I have another thing for the no list too. I'll tell you now after this thought. I'll tell you after this thought if I remember. I think again going back to like the post-war like Jamaica just being devastated. Like they didn't get their independence until the early '60s, right? So like Jamaica was still under UK rule, and usually when you kind of break free from the UK and do your own thing, it's kind of a transitional period for you. For us, it's been 200-300 years since we broke free from them, and we're still kind of figuring things out. Jamaica,
we're about to celebrate that anniversary in 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah, that's my favorite fucking. That should be a worldwide holiday. July 4th should be a worldwide holiday. Just like remember Independence Day, one of the best speeches of all time. What was the guy's name? Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman. Yeah, Bill Pullman.
Yeah,
gave one of the greatest speeches ever.
God. Damn, that's a good fucking speech.
It is a great speech.
Jokes aside, like I don't even care. Like if you think 4th of July is dumb, whatever the fuck it is, that's a good fucking speech.
It's a great speech. Yeah, great speech for that movie.
But yeah, so I get like the 70s into the 80s being like tumultuous politically because like they don't know what the fuck they're doing, right? Like we're our own country now in like the modern era. Fuck, what do we do? So like,
when a lot of the country's been enslaved for hundreds of years and there's no like proper export. They don't know how to do much. Like the citizens don't know how to do very.
They weren't taught. They weren't expected to do anything. I mean, besides like the cultural thing of just like pot, right, and like the Rastafarian movement. But like, how do you market that? Should you market that? So no, I get it. And you're already like decimated, right? So I don't know.
Well, and then going back to the movie too. I mean, that's part of the plot of the movie is that Ivan starts selling weed, and then he's smuggling like $100,000 worth of weed or something like that, and he's like, why am I only making a certain like so little from this? I should be making more. And then that's when shit really started to go down.
He's asking too many questions. Oh yeah, he's asking too many questions. And then, like I given that circumstance, like I get it, right? Because they got like half between him and his partner. They got half. The other 50% goes to the police. Mm-hmm. He's like, what the fuck? Why does this one police officer get 50%? And he's like, well, that's just the way it is. I was like, dude, no, because he's probably paying off everybody else, right? Yeah. It's like there's not one guy that's making a fuck ton of money. Like in that instance, I think everyone's making a good cut. Yeah. What the?
Where are we at?
We can talk about songs. You like any of these songs? You hate them all?
I hate them all.
So there's only 10 songs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's get into a couple of the songs. There we go.
Yeah. Which ones did you like the least? We don't have to talk about those ones.
I mean, a couple of them were just, the same thing. Like the title track.
There's only 2.
Or no, I'm sorry. You can get it. You can get it if you really want.
You can get it if you really want.
And then the title track too, right? Yeah, the title track. I mean, both are great songs, but the one that I really liked was which one was it?
Rivers of Babylon, Sweet and Dandy,
Many Rivers to Cross. Many Rivers to Cross. I really like this song.
Would you say this is your favorite song on the record?
It might be my favorite song.
Okay, that's interesting.
I love it. Why?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Why?
Okay. Because it's slow. There's
I
no
know,
dub in this whatsoever.
I know, but I love
vocal driven.
It is. But it's the organ. I love the organ.
But it's organ for like a minute and a half.
I know. But I think his voice. Oh my god, his voice sounds so good. I think this is the song one of the songs he sang, right?
Yeah.
In the studio. Yeah, the one where it's like the close-ups, right? I think this is the song with the close-ups.
No.
Or wasn't? Either way, I think this song is incredible. I think this is probably my favorite song on the record.
Okay.
Because his voice sounds so good. His voice sounds incredible.
This is my least favorite song on the record.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because there's nothing... Until you get about like simple. Halfway through, there's nothing like reggae about this. That's
fine.
It's just an organ that just goes on. And that's fine if there's a song that's happening, but it's just like note after note ringing out for like almost a minute and a half. And it's fine.
And then obviously
it builds
the
on
toots
eventually.
And the madles. The toots and the madles stuff too is obviously incredible.
It builds and eventually gets a little more churchy and preachy, but that makes sense. You're a ballad man and you like preachy music now. I
don't. I like that song. I think it's an incredible song. But let's not talk about that since you're being fussy about it.
I never
the toots and the madles.
I for sure thought like you would have liked that song the least.
There's something that I don't know. There's something about his voice that I really loved. I thought it was just so. It's like a beautiful song, like right. It's just beautiful.
Oh, for sure is. But I think a lot of these songs are just that. They are beautiful songs. But it is funny because like Ivanhoe, the source material for the movie, the actual folk hero they talk about, he was known to have like a higher pitched kind of like voice, like Jimmy Cliff. And Jimmy Cliff has a kind of higher pitched kind of voice. It's not like a real low, deep voice. It's more of a angelic thing. And when he sings in this one, you for sure hear it.
Yeah. But honestly, I think that's the best. I mean, the other Jimmy Cliff songs on here, I think they're just not as good. I don't want to say they're subpar, but they're just not as good. I don't know. I just think that.
What are you even fucking talking about?
I just think I don't know. I think
the title track, like the
it's good. No, it's
they
great.
Come. Are you fucking high?
It's great.
Are you crazy?
But it's just a little too like. It's just too like poppy. Not poppy. Because I really do like the title track, but it's just
when people
it's too bouncy. It's too bouncy. Like it's not. It doesn't have like the speed of the toot stuff, and I don't know. It's good. It's a great song, but I don't think it's like that's definitely not the best song on the record.
That's crazy.
Not even. Is that your favorite song on the record?
I think the best song on the record is Babylon. I think Rivers of Babylon is the best song on the record. I think that's easy, but that's too easy to call that the best song on the record. I think You Can Get It If You Really Want is so fucking good. And that's Jimmy Cliff. I think that song's better than The Harder They Come, So I would say Babylon. You can get what you really want, and then Pressure Drop, another Toot song, and then Harder They Come. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you consider these? Would you consider the Jimmy Cliff stuff like the you can really get it if you really get it if you really want? This is ska, right? This would be considered ska. It wouldn't be just reggae.
It's tough because like obviously I'm not from fucking Jamaica. I only know like what I hear over here. But yeah, there's a lot of like ska in this because I don't know. There's in the ska genre with like the kind of like upstrokes on the upbeat where it's not slowed down. I don't see why you can get it if you really want isn't ska.
Yeah, I would.
It's always listed as reggae and people say it's reggae, but I'm like, I don't know, man. Like this to me sounds like ska. And the horn, like the horn part in there too, like all of that stuff. It's how like kind of upbeat and happy and how just like Motown almost it seems in like a upbeat way. That's very ska to me.
Yeah, I would agree. With you. I didn't know that it was listed as more reggae because I view reggae and like what was it roots reggae, which is more the political stuff in reggae. This is my understanding. Like Bob Marley would be considered roots reggae.
I mean, I think roots reggae is a different thing than like reggae. I think roots reggae is a deliberate attempt to get back to like the roots of reggae, which I don't think there are like roots of reggae.
Well, the roots would be ska, rocksteady, calypso, mento, like that would be the roots. But reggae that like Bob Marley, Peter Tosh reggae doesn't sound like any of that. It's like to me, the reggae that people know from those two artists, it's much slower. It's much more. I don't say groove based, but it's a lot more like laid back sounding. It's just there's no pop to those songs for the most part.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's what like reggae is like. And like when you go through the reggae, I'm just basing this off the Spotify playlist I listen to for all these different genres. But when you get to like the reggae stuff compared to the ska, rocksteady, it's all the Bob Marley kind of sounding stuff. Like not half the tempo, but significantly slower in tempo. Just very much laid. I mean, laid back is the only way I could think of. That's the best way I could explain it.
I think
myself now.
I think the difference between ska and reggae and rocksteady is huge, but the difference between rocksteady and reggae, I think reggae or rocksteady is just slowed down ska, and then reggae took the slowed down, like laid back style of rocksteady, and then did that like double stroke where the like that thing, whereas like rocksteady was almost just like literally a slowed down ska, which is not. There's a little nuance to it. But in the general sense, that's what it is. That's why I think you can get it if you really want is a ska song.
Yeah, I would say it's a ska song simply based off the tempo. Honestly, I just think it's the tempo really. But I know that it's more nuanced than that. Like you said, like certain the way they play the guitars and the bass lines and everything like that makes it more reggae and ska. But I think you're really at that point you're just really splitting hairs. I mean, if anything outside of the tempo, you're splitting hairs.
I think it's crazy that you think fucking. That's wild. You're
Many Rivers, man.
Like that's
so good. It's so good.
That opinion is wrong. Like what you said is wrong. I can't. There's no other way I can put it.
I think it's just such a beautiful song.
Your opinion there is wrong. It's incorrect. As usual. So
it's like the Fat Mike thing I sent you today.
Yes, exactly.
The punk rock MBA.
Oh, that's what it was. That
what?
Fucking leads into the no-no list.
Oh, the no-no list. Yeah, what were you going to say?
That's funny. Because one of our regulars came in the other day and he showed me a video and he's like, this is cool, huh? And he showed it to me and I've seen the video. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen that. And he's like, I didn't ask you if you've seen it. I asked you if you thought it was cool.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah, I do think it's cool. But then I was like, why did I say that? Like, why did I tell him that I said that? And like, he's a guy that we can go back and forth with, like, why did I say that? And we kind of like dissect things the way we kind of do it here on the pod.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, people do it a lot, huh? I was like, yeah. Whenever like somebody sends me something and I've seen it, I was like, yeah, I've seen that. Why do I say that? That's not what you asked me. You sent me this so I could watch it.
That's true. Okay.
You didn't ask me if I fucking seen it before.
I thought the guy was just being a dick when he said that, like, because I didn't know you.
He comes off as a dick, and if you didn't know,
I didn't know he had that repertoire with him.
Yeah. He does sound like a dick, and Sloan kind of goes back and forth with him. But he's really fun. I like talking to him a lot. But yeah, that's what I thought should go on the no list. Is when it was when somebody sent you something and you said like, "Oh, I've seen that," or "I've read that," or whatever it is. It's like I didn't ask you fucking read it. I just sent it to you just so you can see it and we can talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. And then like we went on for like 30 minutes. Like why do we feel need to assert like the fact that like, oh, I've already seen that. Like therefore I don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I think do it all the time.
This like superiority thing. Yeah, we all do it. It's like I think it's like a superiority thing. Like you want to one up the other person. Well, yeah, I saw that. Exactly. I saw that already.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's all about one upping. I don't like one upping, but we all do it. Like everybody's guilty of one upping. But man, I hate when I catch myself doing it. Yeah.
When you sent me that Finn McKenty and the Fat Mike thing, that's when I was like, oh, yeah.
But that was funny though,
because I have seen that before. But I was like, I'm going to make a conscious effort not to say that because it doesn't add anything to the conversation, right? Except kind of like, oh, okay, then I won't send you again. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing it anymore.
I'm gonna try not to do it either because we all do it. It is annoying. Now
that I'm thinking about it, like we should try not to do it, but mention that we're not going to do it. Therefore, you're still kind of doing it, but we can laugh at the fact that like this is where we shouldn't be doing it, even though we're going to do it anyway.
It's like a double one up on somebody.
Yes.
So dumb.
I'm not going to tell you I've already seen that because I'm better than you.
Yeah, it's double one up being more pretentious about. It's being more pretentious. Up. Yeah.
That's good.
That's annoying. Anyway. 0-2. 0-2. We just went on that rant, and we keep mentioning the Fat Mike and Finn McKenty thing, and what we were talking about was that the little video clip was Fat Mike asking Finn, who do you think is the greatest ska punk band of all time? And he says, well, my honest answer is Sublime. And he's like, I didn't ask you for your honest answer, and you're wrong. It's Operation Ivy. And it was just the way it was like the back and forth, like the way he was like funnily being funny about being condescending to Finn was just so fucking funny. You just got to go look up that clip. It's quick. It's like 6-7 seconds, but God, it's so perfect. And it's truly what you and I do on this podcast every week. And how we talk to each other.
I hate the clip because like I want to agree with Finn. Like I 100% do. But then Fat Mike's just Operation Ivy. I'm like, oh, fuck. Fuck.
I know.
Ah, shit. All right. You got me on that one. Anyway,
yeah, let's move
Rivers
on.
of Babylon. You don't like Rivers of Babylon, I guess.
I think it's a great song.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I would consider this more of a reggae song than a ska song. Once again, we're splitting hairs, but
I think this is for sure a reggae song.
Yeah.
But this is this is one that I heard Sublime do, and Sublime did this, and I was like, oh, this song's fucking cool.
What album did they do?
On the Rivers of Babylon.
Was it on 40 Ounces?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why, because that's their worst record.
It's not their worst record.
That's their worst record.
When you stop being when you stop being such a tryhard, you realize that that's not the worst record. Oh my God! But like,
stop being such a tryhard.
Okay. You are being a tryhard. What does Skip call you all the time?
What? Oh, yeah, edgelord. He calls me an edgelord all the time.
Yeah, edgelord, tryhard. Yeah, you're all the above.
That's me. Should put that in my like signature on my work emails. Edgelord and tryhard.
That'd be so sick.
I get in so much trouble by the boss.
That would be so fucking cool. That's such a power move. I like that.
Oh boy.
I'll give you $5 if you do that.
I'm not gonna do that.
That was someone always says to me, like he tells me to do something so wild. I'll give you $5. Like, I'll give you $5 if you go slap that lady in her head.
And then he does that giggle that he does. I can't even try to impersonate it, but he has that giggle. Something like that.
He can't get all scrunched up and leans back.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Anyway, why don't you like Rivers of Babylon?
I do like Rivers of Babylon. It's a great song.
This wasn't a banger?
I mean, I didn't make a proper list of like bangers and stinkers.
Move through them.
Yeah, I mean, because we're not treating this episode like how we normally do. So I didn't.
That's true. That is true.
I didn't write down like proper bangers, stinkers,
for ones that are coming out of your mouth. Yeah, Rivers of Babylon. This was apparently banned by the Jamaican government. Leslie Kong was one of the people that demand that it get unbanned. Obviously, because he produced it too, but because there was like I don't think the Jamaican government listened to it, but there's religious undertones here. And Leslie Kong was like, dude, they're literally quoting the Bible. Are you fucking retarded? Like, unban this shit. And so they did. But this is an absolutely fucking classic raga tune, man.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I think this entire soundtrack is phenomenal. Really, it truly is phenomenal. And I mean, like we mentioned at the beginning, this is the thing that introduced reggae to the world. Or I don't know if we did mention it, but
mostly to the U.S. Like
or yeah, the U.S. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But yeah, introduced it to the U.S. I mean, but really, we all know, like, especially at the time, the U.S. market was like, if you made it in the U.S., then you're a fucking legend. Yeah. You know, that's the way it was.
That's why the bands come over here and make it big.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do we want to talk about any other songs? There aren't that many songs on the soundtrack.
Are we just done? Are we done entirely?
No, I'm not saying we're done entirely, but I mean, do you want to talk about more tracks, or what do you want to?
We can. I have notes for them. We can run through them at least, at the very least.
Let's go.
What do you think about? What do you think about "Draw Your Breaks"? Because that's like the dub song that I thought you would like a lot.
I mean, it's fine.
Oh God, I don't think you listen. You didn't even listen to this fucking soundtrack, did you?
Yes, I did. I listened to it like 3 times this week.
You're just picking and choosing now. You're making things up. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way.
I wouldn't even say this is like a
Many Rivers to
I don't even think
Cross.
this is like a very dub. It's dub in that it's more
100%
it sounds.
dub.
No, I don't think it's like bass heavy enough.
It's not King Tubby Scientist.
I know,
dub,
but that's
this
what
is dub
that's
before
the kind of
that dub happened.
I know, but that's the kind of dub I like, and I wanted to get into more.
It doesn't sound like de facto fucking the same shit.
I wanted to
talk about like reggae sounding the same. Yeah, I'm not done with you yet. Talk about reggae sounding the same. Like dub fucking. Oh my God, it's like every fucking song's the same thing. Unless you're Augustus Pablo, I don't care. Unless you're de facto or Augustus Pablo, I don't care.
You don't care. Yeah.
I don't care. Okay. Scientist, meh. He's a King Tubby protege. Nah.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, but Augustus Pablo for me is the bee's knees.
Augustus Pablo, yeah, great, fucking great.
Everything else, meh.
No, Augustus Pablo, King Tubby, Scientist, a lot of the Lee Perry stuff. You know, I mean, he did a lot. He did a lot for fucking Kingston and a lot for reggae music in general and dub music. I mean, a lot of like Lee Perry is like. He was on everything, like, and the Upsetters, his band, his house band.
Josh Freese of this fucking scene.
As a producer and songwriter, he's insane. And then the Upsetters, the band, his house band for the studio, were incredible too. God damn, it's so good.
So you
did
listen to all the things that I sent you, right? The 10 things I sent you.
Yeah.
So
I
like
listened to all those plus more. Yeah.
Like, did you notice that the Max Romeo War into Babylon and the Super Ape, like the same fucking record?
Yeah, they're very, very similar. Yeah, Max Romeo was Lee Perry.
There are three songs that Lee Perry just reused on both of those records.
Oh, did he really? I didn't notice.
Yeah, and they're fucking identical. But I do like Max Romeo more as a vocalist than I do like anything that Lee Perry did on Super Ape. But yeah, they're identical.
Does Lee Perry sing?
He makes noises and other people.
But he doesn't like sing though.
Toast. They toast. Mm-hmm. But not really singing like Max Romeo does.
Yeah. The Max Romeo is really good too. I really dug that record too.
I love that record.
I put that on my want list as well. So, yeah, I put an OG of that, the OG King Tubby, OG Super Ape, the OG Toots and the Maytals. I think that was it from that. Oh, and then I put the Don Drummond. I know it's a comp, but so I don't really care to get an OG of that one. But I want that record. That Don Drummond Greatest Hits, man, it was so good.
Most of my reggae I got from Grace because he got this massive reggae collection at one time, and I picked up like 10 records, all of them. They're all like $50 each, so I had to like calm myself. And this is when I was spending my own money, not just. I don't want to say that, but I was like I was the only person there for it, and then I was like, how the what the fuck? No one's here. He's like, nah, dude, nobody likes reggae out here. God damn,
it's a bunch of white people.
Yeah, like nobody likes reggae out here.
Yeah, and then the other band you wanted me to listen to this week was the Congos, the Heart of the Congos. That was probably that was actually my least favorite out of all the stuff on here. Not that it was bad, but it was just very straightforward reggae vocal group.
Yes,
just Lee Perry produced this one and recorded it, but yeah, it's great singers. But overall I thought it was just kind of generic reggae.
See, that's one that's considered like roots reggae. Like that's what it is. So that sound, because I agree. I don't I don't like it. People love that record. People swear by that record. I think it's fine. I think it's boring. But I did put it on there because I felt you should listen to it.
Yeah, it was good. It was
not that I
it
know
was
a whole
good.
lot about reggae or anything. I don't fucking know what the fuck.
Yeah, we're just a couple white guys. Yeah. But there you go.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Go. So you can move on from that one. I guess you don't like dry your brakes, but whatever.
I do like
Sweet and Dandy. We think Sweet and Dandy.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's Toots and the Maytals. How can you not love it?
And that was in the movie too when they're singing when he
part?
first sees them. The three black guys are in the. I mean, I guess they're all black guys, but the three guys that are in the studio when Jimmy Cliff first gets there and tries to deliver the package, and they're like, "No, get the fuck out of here!" He's like, "Come on, get a package." And for some reason, they let him in the studio, and so then he's in there, and the three guys that are singing this song. It's not Toots singing the song, but they're singing Toots' song. And this is like late '60s Maytals on the Beverly label from Leslie Kong that we talked about earlier. But yeah, it's good. I love that song.
Yeah, it's great. You on like I said, outside of the one Jimmy Cliff song, the two other beyond bangers are the Toots and the Maytals songs. They're just so fucking good. I really
can't believe, and I'm still irritated that your favorite song was like the worst on the record.
His voice is so good on that fucking song, man. His voice is incredible. I don't make the rules.
Well, you don't follow them either.
The rules.
So the title track's the next one, The Harder They Come.
Yeah, which we talked about, right? Yeah.
Banger of a song, for sure. Yeah, so like this one, like, okay, so like the whole reggae thing too, and ska, like taking pages out of the Calypso and Mento book. And here, like, you can really, really hear it, right? Like the percussive parts in this either are the steel pan or are meant to like closely mimic the sound of the steel pan. Mm-hmm. And this one very much sounds like Calypso, which is a strictly like Trinidad and Tobago sound genre that they own, they did, that influenced this, much in the same way like American R&B influenced reggae also. So did the sounds of Calypso and Mento. And I think The Harder They Come was meant to mimic that.
Really, I don't know. I didn't hear the Calypso that much in it. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand the genre as well as you. Because once again, what do you? I'm not yapping.
Too much talking.
I'm just saying. I was just saying I don't hear it. That's all I'm saying is just, I don't hear it. But I was about to compliment you and say that you know more than I do. You're the fucking worst. I'm out.
Too much talking.
I'm out.
Too much talking.
I'm out. I'm out.
and then Johnny Too Bad. You like Johnny Too Bad? Johnny Too Bad's fine. Actually, Sublime did an early cover of the song. It was a demo, and you can only really get it on like the Jah Won't Pay Your Bills like expanded edition way later on, or that Everything Under the Sun like massive box set they did. But their cover of the song is cool because their cover of the song is just a freestyle, but you know they have a mastery of like reggae music in this song because they start like wherever the fuck they want to and they end up at this song, and you kind of hear them like laugh. And they transition back into just like jamming toward the end of this, like their 5-minute little jam sesh. And from what I read, because I love Sublime, everybody knows I love Sublime. From what I read, that was a one and done thing. They started it, they talked about it beforehand, they recorded it, never did it again, and it's fucking cool.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
Shantytown, 007. You like 007, don't you?
It's a good ska song. I don't want to talk too much, so just don't want
too much talking. Dude, and the Pressure Drop, oh my god, Pressure Drop's so fucking good.
It's true.
Like, god damn, dude. There's like Toot's iconic fucking vocals. This song would later be on the reissue of Funky Kingston. It's not on the OG version of Funky Kingston. So that's why I was saying earlier, if you're looking for the original version of it, because I do want the original version of Funky Kingston, but I want both because I love this fucking song. So that makes sense. I love when the reggae stuff goes from like the quiet to like the loud kind of like strained singing with like the background harms. Like, dude. And the chorus, just like the Pressure Drop repeating the chorus. Fucking hell. So good. And then Sitting in Limbo. That's it. And then we're done. That's all we got.
Yeah. Sitting in Limbo. This is kind of like a ballad song. Like a slower jam. Not a ballad, but it's more of a slower jam. You like the
other ballad, slower jam, Jimmy Cliff song.
Because that's a great song. Sitting in Limbo is good. It's a good song. But the other one's great.
This song is more in line with what he will do in like the 80s.
Okay, I could. Yeah,
this is better.
I didn't listen. Honestly, I didn't listen to any Jimmy Cliff outside of this soundtrack.
You don't need to.
That's I get it. Plus, I listen to so much other shit. You know, I listened to like fucking 15 records this week.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I listened to the 10 that you put on the list, and then I listened to the various other things I have. So on vinyl that weren't on.
I listened to
so.
like 30, but that's fine.
Is this a contest? This is a fucking contest. Literally just did.
I saw that.
Literally just
how many
we were talking about. Yeah.
How many records do you? How many like reggae the family records do you own?
Maybe like 8, 9.
That's a lot.
8 or 9, yeah. Is it? I mean, I have 2 Peter Tosh. I have the 1 Marley. I have the Scientist, King Tubby, De Facto. I mean, technically that's dub. And I don't know what else. I can't think of it right now.
Because
I
don't know.
can't think of it right
like reggae, it's just shit sounds the same, bro.
I know that's why I don't have a lot of it.
The vast majority of the stuff sounds exactly the fucking same. Whatever. I like how we justify the genres we like. Like I like pop punk a lot. I'm under no impression that most of that 95% of pop punk sounds identical.
Yeah, yeah.
To like The Outsider, like you can get into it and pretend to be into the nuance, but really, come on, it sounds the fucking same. Same with reggae. Like I do like it a lot. Do you have anything else? I feel like this is heading into a wrap. I think.
About this record or about the soundtrack.
About everything.
Everything?
What I was saying just felt like it was going in that direction.
No, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, this is not my. Yeah, let's do the wrap up because I'll throw what I was going to just say into the wrap up. So yeah, let's wrap it up. What do you got?
A few points about the movie.
Okay.
Very low budget. There was more footage that was filmed that was not in the movie. And I guess there's, for every movie there's deleted scenes or whatever. But one thing I did want to mention was when he's getting whipped and they pull his pants down so you see his butt. I guess it was a frontal shot to where you actually see the pee come out of his wiener.
Oh God!
Because he gets whipped in the butt and then he pees. Just for I don't know why
he does. Yeah.
He pees.
I think it's just involuntary.
Remember the barrel and shit like that.
Yeah.
There's for whatever reason they filmed a cut of it where you see the pee come out of the wiener, and like that to me that's aggressive.
Yeah, it is very very aggressive.
But other than that, there was supposed to be a sequel to this. They filmed some type of sequel that premiered decades and decades later at like one of the Sundance festivals or something like that. People loved it. But yeah, I think that's
weird.
That's about it.
Okay, so yeah, then let's wrap it up with how we feel about the movie, the music, the soundtrack, and then everything else we talked about the scene, what we know and understand of it because we're not experts in this style of music. And then let's give 2 ratings, one to the soundtrack and then 1 to the movie, and then
I like
go
that.
from there. So what do you got? What do you got? Go.
Damn, a lot of things thrown at me here. Yeah, I think much like pop punk, I do give a lot of passes to reggae because a lot of it's dumb, dude. A lot of it's just bad, like shitty derivative of itself kind of pop reggae.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bob Marley is that, but the dude got lucky because he had helped just writing fucking good songs.
Yeah, he did have good songs.
Aston Barrett, dude, like he taught like Robbie how to play bass, right? So it's one of like the premier bass players in reggae of all fucking time. Also songwriters, producers, engineers. So Bob Marley had a lot of help, but a lot of reggae is just dumb. And like UB40, all of that is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's silly shit. Like 80s reggae is fucking bad, dude. I don't even care.
Yeah, it is. I mean, honestly, any reggae after the 70s up until now, I mean, I think it's bad. Obviously, the third wave ska and some of the stuff with that, Sublime did, and there are outliers, but overall, reggae sucks after the 70s.
I mean, we haven't even hit you can talk about two-tone for a brief minute.
We could, yeah.
Just because
we
didn't. But I feel like we should because next week we're not doing two-tone at all. So, but yeah, like two-tone, like the whole Chris Blackwell, Island Records, bringing reggae back to the UK, the mass migration of Jamaicans going to the UK, the Jamaican people bringing music to the punkers of the UK. So now the Clash and everybody else is doing reggae music. But the biggest one is like the Specials. Specials is arguably like the biggest, most well-known two-tone band of all time.
True. Yeah.
But I don't care for it. It's fine.
I like the self-titled record. I've always liked that record. I've always thought
It's
it was really
good. And, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is. I trash them a lot. I trash Two Tone a lot, but I do. It is good. But
I
like
listened
that
to
first,
it today too.
that first.
What is wrong with you?
Because you just
you're like
time
complimenting
doesn't
it.
mean anything over there.
What are you talking about?
You just spend your time doing the dumbest,
It's not
most
like
mundane things.
I'm working. I'm just doing. I'm
yeah,
just reading
working
shit.
at fucking doing nothing is what you're doing.
So
Because
fucking
listening
annoying.
to that is just a waste of time.
have it on
Madness's
vinyl,
first
too. Yeah.
Madness's first record is where it's at. That is peak Two Tone. Madness's first
Okay.
record is fucking amazing, but I do think it's a little bit more aggressive than the specials is. So whatever. Two Tone's fucking dumb. The UK has a lot of dumb fucking genres that they pretend are cool. So if I'm giving a rating to both the movie and the soundtrack, I think the soundtrack's a 3 out of fucking 3 for sure. Like the collection of songs they have here perfectly represents not just like the sound of reggae and ska, but also how it developed into reggae and ska. And then the movie's cute. It's a 2. It's a 2 out of 3. Like I'm gonna watch it again. I like the movie. It's fun. I don't see how, like, this whole folk hero thing too, right? The dude like killed a girl, right?
Yeah.
Like unarmed woman, like killing cops in a movie. Like you can kind of get behind that because cops are armed, even though like that's why I don't play Grand Theft Auto 5 because like the first mission that you kill a bunch of cops. Like I don't know,
That's crazy to not play that game.
it's a little aggressive. It's just a little aggressive to me. But when you start just like mowing down like unarmed women, I don't know, dude. Like you're no longer a folk hero. You're just kind of a douchebag. So the movie's a 2, but I get why he's a folk hero. I understand. I empathize where they're coming from. It's still fun. It's still cool. Jimmy Cliff is wild in that. He's not a very good actor either. He's kind of uses bug eyes all the time. He goes like, "What? What'd you say to me?"
He's not
So
that great of an actor. Yeah.
it's kind of funny. But yeah, dude, the soundtrack's unreal. Fucking unreal.
Okay, a 3 and a 2. 3 for the soundtrack, 2. Oh, and when we talk about the rating, 3 is a perfect album movie. 2's good. You're gonna keep watching, listening. 1 is bad, but give it a shot. And 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So for the album, it's a perfect 3 out of 3. For you, for the movie, it's a 2. So you're definitely gonna go back to it. So
Yes.
good, very good. Musically, I think every song on here is fucking incredible. It's an incredible soundtrack. It's highly influential to reggae music and bringing it to the white man. Let's just say. So every song on here is an absolute fucking banger.
Arts Americans.
Well, okay,
It's
really,
not just white people that live here.
I know, but it's really the white people that embrace this. I don't see a lot of Hispanic people embracing this kind of music. Just don't see it. But
This was huge where I grew up. I grew up in a very Mexican neighborhood, and we love this
you
shit.
did. Okay. Then I stand corrected. Yeah. So with that, I think musically, it's a great collection of ska and reggae songs. I would give it a 2.8. I would give it a 2.8.
Whoa, that's fucking high.
I don't think it's perfect, but there's some incredible tunes. And for this era of music and where the movie sits in this era of music history, I think it's a great representation of it. Movie wise, the movie is not that great. I think it's fantastic in that, like I said earlier, it shows to me what I think Kingston, Jamaica was at the time. I think it's a great representation of that time in the city's history and a lot of what was going on in that city and all the fucking blatant violence and killing and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
As terrible. I mean, it's just fucking terrible what was going on over there, and the poverty, the massive poverty is terrible. But I feel like it was the most honest representation of that. But yeah, in the end, the movie's not great. The story's not great. But, they did a great job. It's very unique. I've never really seen anything like this, or done this well, I should say. So with that, I'm probably never going to watch it again, but I think I think everybody should watch it. And it's a good watch. It's honestly a really good watch, but I'm never going to go back to it. So I'm going to give it a 1.9. A 1.9.
You'll never watch this again.
I just
Then
have
give it
no
a 1.
desire. No, I've because I have a lot of good things to say. Because a 1 is more for like, okay, it's not very good. Like it's mostly negative
But
stuff.
a
But you should at
1.9
least
is
watch it.
like you're almost gonna watch it again, but you're just not.
But I'm
going
not
to.
going to watch it again. No, so it's
like
a
then
1.9.
it's a fucking 1.
No, it's a 1.9. 1.9 out of 3. 1.9 out of 3, which I think is a fair rating.
1.9 like leads
Because-
me to believe that if you saw it, if you're bored and you're scrolling through Netflix and all of a sudden it comes on and like suggested,
I would
1.9 leads me to
wouldn't
believe
watch
that
it.
you might click yes.
Nah, probably not.
Then that's not a 1.9. You're talking 1.5 tops.
No. Okay, let's do 1.8. Just to
Oh
appease you
my
a little bit.
god!
So yeah, okay, let's do a 1.8. Let's do a 1.8 because yeah, I'm not gonna watch it again. But it was still, it was a cool movie. It was cool.
I do wonder that with a different soundtrack. Like let's say there was even no soundtrack, right? We were just watching like the raw unedited footage.
This would have been terrible.
Like it's a shit movie, right? And like, what do I
Yeah.
care about this douchebag guy who like kills women and wants to be a drug lord and just gets all pissy about it? So like, would I give this a 2? I don't know. But like, it's so hard to like disassociate the soundtrack from it because it's still good.
It's true. It's true, especially when the first half of the movie is all about him wanting to make a record, and there's so much music in the first half of it. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's what I give it. Do we have anything else on this episode?
That's it.
No. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars if you're watching on YouTube. Smash that subscribe button, and that's all I have. That's all we have for this episode, and that's it. That's all.
Let's do-
Leaper.